Namaskar dosto. Give me blood and I shall grant you freedom. This quote given by Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose filled many young soldiers of Indian National Army with piping hot blood and pounding heart. Today, we are going to discuss what had actually happened on the 16th of August 1945 and what is the real death mystery behind Netaji's death. This is Jagannath Rao and you're watching J Brothers. On 16th August 1945, Germany and Japan faced a brutal depression as they lost the Second World War. The Japanese soldiers surrendered their weapons and the German leader Hitler committed suicide. Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, who took help from the Japanese forces in 1943, had to look for an alternate base. No one knew what his next step was, and so no record paper of any information that gave about Subhash Chandra Bose. His next thought was to go to USSR in the present day Russia because Russian principles were different from countries like UK, Germany and USA because they followed the principles of communism. He thought that UK would be their common enemy and that USSR would be likely to support the Indian freedom struggle. However, Japan, Netaji's first option, could not give any support to him in the freedom struggle because Japan was freshly bombarded by the US forces on the cities of the Hiroshima and Nagasaki. They needed time to recover themselves, so they could not provide any ammunition that Netaji needed. They were able to provide a route that was linked to USSR, which crossed through Vietnam, Taipei, Taiwan, and China. They gave Netaji a flight called K-21 heavy bomber Mitsubishi, which through he was reached to his destination. After Netaji reached Saigon in Vietnam, where all the Japanese forces were located with the flight, they informed him that only two people can carry in the flight. As the sun was setting soon, they had to make an abort turn and land in the unscheduled landing of Da Nang city, which was the city of Vietnam. In the night, the crew worked on the plane's engines and heavy ammunitions, guns, bombs were taken out the plane to reduce the plane's weight. This made the plane easy for its next journey to Taiwan. In the morning, the pilot directly took off as the plane was very light. It made them easy for a long journey. The plane was directly landed in Taiwan in the city of Taipei for a 2-hour lunch break. There, Netaji and the fellow Japanese generals had their lunch. The pilot and the co-pilot along with the engineering who were examining the engines noticed something off in the left wing of the plane. They decided to not get too deep into the investigation as the engine was fairly new. On 18th August at 2 p.m., there was a loud bang in the left engine as if the engine was blasted. Within a matter of few seconds, the whole plane was on fire. The whole plane crashed within a matter of seconds. The pilot, co-pilot and the Japanese generals who were sitting in the first row died immediately as the plane directly hit the ground. But Netaji, who was sitting beside the plane's petrol tank, survived with Habibur Rahman. Habibur Rahman and Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose indeed tried to escape, but the back door of the plane was blocked. The front door of the plane was open, but that too with fires upon it. So it means that they have to walk through fires. Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, who was already drenched in petrol, got lit up immediately and was completely burnt. Habibur Rahman tried all his level best to save Netaji. He removed his clothes and tried to put off the fire. However, the 2/3 of Netaji's body was completely burned and it was almost impossible for him to survive. Within 15 minutes of duration, Habibur Rahman manages to take Netaji to a hospital which was called Namon Military Hospital. The hospital had specialized doctors which used to treat soldiers who were injured in the war. However, Netaji was not able to survive. The lack of oxygen and the fact that he was completely burned in fire made him impossible to survive. Unfortunately, during treatment, Netaji took his last breath. However, this painful story of the plane crash is merely a story for the most of the Indians who had faith in Netaji. They still believe that Netaji was also alive even after the plane crash. Today, we are going to discuss some of the theories which people claimed and which people thought that really took place. After the plane crash, British declared INA Indian National Army as illegal. Three main soldiers who worked with Netaji were caught up and sent for open trials in Red Fort. However, these three soldiers who belonged to three main religions in India were released due to regional and religional pressure. These pressures came from Kolkata because Netaji mainly spent most of his time and life in Kolkata. He had a mass support gained in Kolkata. Due to these open trials that were conducted in Red Fort, the story of Netaji's death spread all over India rapidly. The story of a man who did some amazing feats in his life, how he could disguise himself and fool multiple countries with multiple identities, how he was able to move from country to country in order to form an army to lead this freedom struggle. This story of a man was no less than a superhero's tale. This is the power of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, and this is how he managed to survive even after the plane crash. After noticing Netaji being present in multiple international events after his death was surprising for most of the people and even INS soldiers. They couldn't believe that Netaji died in the plane crash. Even Mahatma Gandhi did not believe that Netaji died in the crash, but only after being convinced by Habibur Rahman, who gave him a personal interview. Subhashwadi Janata Party was formed by some of Netaji's associates. Their main motto was to refuse that the plane crash killed Netaji. According to their chronology, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose after the plane crash came to India and settled down as a hermit. He went from place to place and in the disguise of a Baba. And then Netaji went to Jalpaiguri in Bengal and promoted himself as Srimad Saradanandaji, who lived in Saulamari Ashram. This was believed by most of the Bengalis and thus came to be true. There really existed an ashram called Saulamari Ashram, and the Baba was also Srimad Saradanandaji, but he claimed to be saying that he was not Netaji. However, even his disciples and devotees continued to say that you are Netaji, he is Netaji. However, the Baba refused that he was Chandra Bose. Another conspiracy stated that indeed Subhash Chandra Bose reached USSR, that is present-day Russia. The Russians captured Subhash Chandra Bose and tortured him by keeping in concentration camps. This was, however, proved wrong as there was no official document or file on this. If we keep discussing these conspiracies and theories given by local people, this video is not going to end, of course. So, we are going to proceed further. Everyone had their own say behind the mystery of Subhash Chandra Bose's death. However, the most popular theory is this Gumnami Baba. People in India, in social media, raise this topic often and make it a trend for their own views and likes. But however, no one showed sure interest in discussing this topic. As per the request of the official Indian government, Sugata Bose, the grandnephew of Subhash Chandra Bose, donated 1 milliliter of his blood to the government to check if the DNA matches with Gumnami Baba. However, this bizarre conspiracy and theory proved wrong. This Gumnami Baba, who fought the secret missions of Russia, decided to fight the Korean War of 1952, leading the Asian Liberation Army. After fighting the Korean War, he decided to leave Russia and settle in India, to be specific as Baba in the city of Ayodhya. Many people believed that he was Subhash Chandra Bose, who framed a fake story to make everyone believe that he was real Gumnami Baba and not any Netaji. This Gumnami Baba's death took place on 16 September of 1985. Everyone believed that Netaji died on this day. This Gumnami Baba living in Ayodhya doesn't have any death certificate or any photo of its cremation. This was surprising to most of the people who believed that Gumnami Baba was the real Netaji. Many people told that Gumnami Baba, aka also known as Netaji, was faking his presence because it was not good for India due to its geopolitical conditions at that time. These bizarre claims and conspiracies were not real and very illogical. Many people also claimed that Gumnami Baba used to speak fluent English with matter related to geopolitical conditions. If you look at today's world, there are a number of Babas who could speak fluent English and that too giving spiritual education. The newspaper diaries of states like MP, UP, Maharashtra and Gujarat claimed that Gumnami Baba was the real incarnation of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. He claimed that he looked like this. The similarity between the Netaji and Subhash and Gumnami Baba was too much to make them believe that he was the real Netaji. All these events took place after 57 years of Netaji's death in the plane crash. However, we shouldn't easily try to make fun of these theories and mock them for real. An investigation done by Tom Fix and hosted by Lord Mountbatten stated that after Netaji's death, he was cremated in Taihoku and his ashes were then sent to Tokyo, Japan. A committee was organized by the official Indian government by Nehruji called Shah Nawaz Committee. Shah Nawaz was one of the persons who was to be open tried in the Red Fort. Even this committee stated that Netaji was cremated in Taihoku and his ashes were clearly sent to a temple in Japan, Tokyo, called Raikoji Temple. Brother of Netaji, Suresh Chandra Bose, who was also a member of the Shah Nawaz committee, didn't agree to sign in the final report. He thought that Subhash Chandra Bose was still alive and would come back. After BJP came into power in 1999, they thought that this case should be still further investigated. So they appointed an jurist called M.K. Mukherjee, which was short for Manoj Kumar Mukherjee, and the committee was named on him called Mukherjee Committee. The only person was Mukherjee himself. The final report given by Mukherjee stated that the ashes in the Raikoji temple of Tokyo were not really Netaji's but of a Japanese soldier who died due to heart failure in the 19th century. When the priest of the Raikoji temple in Tokyo asked to perform a DNA test on the ashes of Subhash Chandra Bose, Mr. Mukherjee refused to do so. In 2016, Indian government released all the unclassified files and made them classified files to public. The public could see and study them. They also requested other countries' files who were related to Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose to be released. Though all the countries classified their files that were related to Subhash Chandra Bose cases, one country did not do so, and that one country is Japan. Japan did not release all their unclassified files. 3 files were kept secret. They did not want to announce those files publicly. There were 3 files which were to do so. And the fact was that the plane crash was done by the Japanese government. This was the dark truth. I don't think so, but many people think so. But finally, one thing was for sure. Subhash Chandra Bose, our Netaji, beloved Netaji, died in the plane crash. Many reports and investigations have proved this. If we want more classification, the DNA test could be done on the ashes of Subhash Chandra Bose in the Raikoji temple of Tokyo. So this was for today's video, guys. Thank you for watching. We'll meet in the next video. Till then, bye bye. Signing off, J Brothers.